Alright, hello, this is Scholar Strive to It's Bath. Today we'll be doing 1.4 geometry, measure and classify angles. So, angle is formed by two rays that have the same start point. So, let's draw two rays with the same end point here. Let's call this A, C, and B. So that is an angle. So the rays are the sides of the angle. So the side CA and the side AB. Usually angles are named by 3 points. So angle CAB. But sometimes if the angle is just by itself and there's no other angles around, we just call it angle A at the vertex here. So once again, with our angle, we have two sides, and those are the rays. This point here is called the vertex. And then here we have a side and a side. So that first one looked like that. But sometimes, let's say we have multiple angles, so we can't just call it, well, here, let me give you an example here. So this, let's call this W, X, Y, Z. So we can't just call this angle X because there's angle WXY, angle YXW, so that's going in reverse. We have angle ZXY. We have angle we have angle YXZ. And then we have two more. The big angle, angle WXZ, and angle ZXW. So when you are labeled angles, you must put the angle symbol there and then 3 letters. Okay. Sometimes, so if you look to the left over here, sometimes in angles there's no points or nothing. They just give you an angle and then they say 1 here. So that would be angle 1. So those are all the different ways of naming angles. Alright, the measure of an angle is the absolute value of the difference of measures between the side rays and a lot more. I'll be right back. Alright, at this point it's like a cartoon because every time I try to go, it comes back. Okay, here we go. The measure of an angle is the absolute value of the difference of measures between the blah 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 blah. Okay, so they have the angle here, and I'll just redraw it in a different color so you guys can see it. So the green line here. So we have A, we have B right here. Okay. And so to measure this angle, so this device here is called a protractor, not to be confused with a compass. Compass kind of looks like this. Has the 2 legs there, and then it has the pointy end, and then it has the pencil on the other side, and then you draw circles with it. That's the compass. Compass draws circles. The protractor measures angles. And how you use this is you line up one of the ends so it's straight along this line here, so that so they did OB. OB lines up with 0. And then you count. So here's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. And then you would see tick marks at the edge, and then you would count how big this angle is. And I'm just going to say that this angle here is 115 degrees. But basically, there's a protractor postulate, and it's just saying you can measure an angle. So the measure of angle O, not 0, equals 115 degrees. Or the measure of angle AOB is 115 degrees. See how it just makes more sense if you include the 3 letters each time. Alright, acute angle. So there's different types of angles. A acute angle is an angle that's between 0 and 90 degrees. And these ones are pretty skinny. So that would be acute. This would be acute. A right angle is 90 degrees. And they always have that little box representing 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is your bigger angles or wide angles. Those are bigger than 90 and less than 180 degrees. I'm sorry about the lawnmower there. Straight angle. Straight angle is exactly 180 degrees, and that's a straight line. Angle addition postulate is the same thing as the segment addition postulate. I can add 2 angles together to make a big angle. So let's call this A, B, C, D. Angle ABC. Actually, let's write this somewhere else. So this is 180 degrees. So angle ABC plus angle CBD is equal to the big angle ABD. So it's very important to know that when you're naming angles, your middle is always your vertex. The middle letter is always your vertex. That's why you never see me say BAC, because BAC would be something completely different. That would be a completely different angle. And then lastly, angles can be congruent if they have the same measure. If you ever see, so you'll see, I'll use a different color. Come on, give me a color. Color, please. There we go. Let's use, screen. So if you ever see an arc, that means these angles are congruent. Sometimes they have an arc with a tick, but that tells you that these angles are congruent. Means they have the same measure. Alright, example 1. Name all of the angles shown. And there's a piece cutting off, but I can tell you what it is. It's D. So we have angle ABC, angle CBA. So angle ABC and CBA are the same thing. It's just, you can name them, but that's just another name for them. And then we're going to look at the lower angle. So the lower angle is CBD and DBC. And then the big angle is ABD and DBA. And that is all the angles we have in that picture there. Example 2. Oh. There we go. Alright, example 2. Write an equation and solve for x. Find the measure of angle GFH and the measure of angle HFJ. Write a reason for each step of the solution. So this is getting pretty close to a proof, and I'll show you why, because it says this part, write a reason for each step. So I'm going to divide this into 2 columns. Where this left side, also known as statements, is where we do our work, and then the reason for all the steps. So we know that the measure of angle GFJ is 155 degrees. We know that the measure of GFH is 4x plus 4. And the measure of HFJ is 4x minus 1. So we have a formula here. So the measure of angle GFJ, so the big angle, is equal to the 2 smaller angles, right? Added together. So measure of angle GFH plus the measure of angle HFJ. And I'm just going to put 1 here. 1. So statement 1. Why are we allowed to add the 2 small angles and make a big angle? That is called the angle addition postulate. Okay. And then substitute our numbers in. 155 degrees equals 4x plus 4 plus 4x minus 1. Why we're allowed to do that? That's through substitution. Our English language lets us do that. 3. 155 degrees equals 8x plus 3. Just adding my like terms together. This is also known as simplifying. 4. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, so I'll get 152 degrees equals 8x. So that was through subtraction. And then we'll get, finally, x equals 19 because I divided both sides by 8. So division. Okay. And now that we have x equals 19, to find out what GFH is and HFJ. So GFH angle measure is equal to, so I'm going to use a different, actually I'm going to use a different color so you guys can see that this is, this would be below this, or just showing a little bit of extra work. Measure of angle GFH is equal to 4 times 19 plus 4. So I'm just plugging my x value back into the equation, and I will get 80. So 80 degrees for that one. And then the measure of angle HFJ is equal to, what is it, 4x minus 1? So 75. So I'm taking this 19 and going, oops, and plugging it all the way into here and here. Hopefully that one made sense. So a little bit of a preview of proofs. All right, checkpoint 1, name all the angles shown. So we have angle FGH, angle HGF, so that's the big angle. And then we have FGJ and JGF. And yes, you must put the angle signal each time. And angle JGH and angle HGJ. What type of angles do the x-axis and y-axis form in the coordinate plane? So we have the x and y-axis. Boom, boom. They actually make 90-degree angles. So here's the angles that they make. Those are right angles. Checkpoint 3. Angle VRS is a right angle. So the big angle is a right angle. Find VRT and TRS. So finding the measure here. So we know that x minus 4 plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 90. So the big two small angles added together are 90 degrees. So I have 4x minus 2 equals 90. Add 2 to both sides. And get 4x equals 92. So x equals 23. Now I know what 23 is. I'm going to plug this number here into here and to here to find out what these angles are. So VRT, so measure of VRT angle is just 23 minus 4, which is 19 degrees. And then TRS is 3 times 23 plus 2, which should be 81. Or 71, sorry. 71. Another way to look at it is, since you found this one first, you can just take 90 minus 19 to get 71. Because that'll give you the other angle. Okay, name all congruent angles. So here's another example of like the symbols that they'll use in your book here. So angle B is congruent to angle D because they have the one arc there. So angle B is congruent to angle D. And then angle A is congruent to angle C because they have 2 arcs. 2 arcs means that they're congruent to the other 2 arcs. You could also have 3 arcs. You can also have an arc with a tick mark. Okay, checkpoint 5. If KM bisects, so remember, what does bisect mean? Bi means 2. Sex means sections, so split into 2 sections. and it's split into two congruence sections. So as you can see here, it has the one arc and the one arc there. That means these are the same angle measurement. So they tell you that LKM is 78 degrees. So since since it's bisected, that means MKN or NKM is also 78 degrees. Oh, that's our answer. What is the measure of MKN? Yeah. Angle, measure of angle MKN equals 78. Oh, it was easy. Because they split the big angle in half, and they tell you that one half is 78. That means the other half has to be 78. But just to keep going, what would be the measure of LKN? So the big angle would be 78 times 2, which is 156 degrees. Alright, hopefully this was not too hard for you. I know that proof thing that might have been confusing, but hopefully the, bisecting. Remember all your vocabulary. Make sure you make yourself a note card for the test. Make sure you know what all these vocabulary words mean. It's a lot, but have a good day.